Hello and welcome to another edition of KKP's Untitled podcast show where we talk about video games, yet still haven't found time to figure out what to title our show. All this is all done with from Kakucho Pure side, all the way from Malaysia. We are recording on the week of the 2nd of May, and this episode should be out the following day. So right now with me is Lewis Larcom from Kakucho Pure. I'm of course your esteemed host, Jonathan Toyat, aka Mr. Toffee. How you doing, Lewis, on this fine week?
Yep. I've been stuck video editing a lot recently. You know, with the big reveal of the shadow release of Oblivion Remastered, that's been my main priority recently. We talked about it a little bit last episode.
Yep.
The video should be out already by the time this video comes out. So yeah, it's the longest one that I've done so far. It goes a little bit more in depth on just kind of talking about what I like about the game and what makes it different from the original as well.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Don't spoil the video. You'll talk about it more later on. I can
Yeah.
tell you my slight experience with Oblivion because I managed to touch it for 30 minutes. I got
Okay.
past the part when Patrick Stewart's character died. Spoilers for 2006 game. So I'm basically off to go to the monastery, talk to one guy, and then I had to go talk to the last living heir. So what I totally remembered about Oblivion is you can actually teleport as soon as to any area you want, as long as you get out of the prison, which is a bit
Yeah.
counterintuitive for a game where you're encouraged to explore and travel. It feels like it's a bit weird why you're given that option really early. I didn't think of it too much because at the end of the day, I still want to walk from point A to B. So I basically just, from the prison, I walk through the city nearby. Unlike the last time I played it on the Xbox 360, I did not commit any crimes. Usually by accidents, yeah. I just went and did a straight line thing. Just killed a bunch of wolves along the way. Explored some dungeons here and there. I'm probably going to spend more time on it another time or whatnot, but it is definitely a remaster for me that I can still feel the DNA and the controls of a 2006 open world RPG, but I would still play it more and more if I had more time because, again, it is Oblivion, one of the most influential games back in the 2006 era, prior to way after Moroi has made its face in. It was actually the correct game for Todd Howard and Bethesda to make because Morrowind, as great as that game was, it was probably a bit too weird for people who aren't really into computer RPGs. You needed something a bit more mainstream. So that's why the graphics you see in the 2006 Oblivion was a lot more colorful, a lot more saturated. When I played this version, I guess the word is trying to aim for realism in a sense, but I don't know, the 2006 person in me kind of misses the stupid bloom it has, you know? It's just me lah, but again, I think the remaster is out of necessity and to show that hey, maybe our next Oblivion, our next Elder Scrolls game might be on the Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, it's a blend. It's a unique blend of the creation engine with Unreal Engine 5. So you still feel that janky, like that slight nostalgic jankiness that you played back in all the way in 2006, 2007, right? And I feel like it really, it's the best possible remaster I could have imagined for the game, at least. I feel there's some things that could have been worked on, but yeah, I go a lot more in depth in my video about it.
Yeah. I actually heard a bunch of rumors about Elder Scrolls Oblivion, where apparently someone might have data mined the game or found out that apparently there are some outer skirts areas like Hammerfall or Skyrim or Morrowind that's inside Oblivion's data. It's obviously an open plain that you see is basically a giant skybox and just a flat piece of land if you go hack into it. But apparently, something tells me Bethesda is cooking more than just Obsidian. I mean, I know they're going to do a Fallout 3 remake. That one is probably the worst kept secret for a while. And plus, you want to make money out of Fallout because, hey, your TV show, the second season TV show is coming out soon, so maybe they might remaster New Vegas for all you know.
Yeah.
But for Oblivion's a skeleton featuring like all these other continents for a future game, that is also a bit curious. That's also kind of like, maybe that's what Bethesda is cooking. Maybe I'd like to hear your thoughts about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, they obviously want to go into the other regions, because there's so much lore and there's so many more stories that they can tell, right? Because at the end of the day, I feel like while Bethesda loves making great games, they love making universes as well. You know, you got the Fallout franchise, which they've developed upon since they took over it, and then obviously the Elder Scrolls as well, which I feel like the Elder Scrolls Online is the perfect example of that, of the amount of lore that they've managed to kind of create with that, even though it takes place like thousands of years prior to the main timeline. It's still very much like you can go to elsewhere, you can go revisit places in Skyrim back before we knew them.
Yeah.
You can go back to Cyrodiil, you can go to High Rock and Hammerfell, Morrowind as well a bit. So it's like there's it's definitely something that Bethesda wants to try and implement. Eventually, I think they want to have a mainline game where you're able to kind of go into all of these different things. And I think probably what they're doing is, they're gonna create maybe single games that are focused on a particular region, and when in time, hopefully, when tech probably catches up and they're able to create massive open worlds with minimal loading as well, there you can cross from Skyrim down to Cyrodiil, right? Cyrodiil into Morrowind and etc. And that's definitely something I would love to see. I think I would love to obviously see a remake as well for Morrowind, because I feel like it's a game that a lot of people appreciate more. I feel like a lot more appreciation comes from it when people have played Oblivion and Skyrim and have gotten a lot more familiar with the lore, because it's so in depth. It's one of the, in my opinion, it's top 2 greatest fictional universes ever made, like that behind One Piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from that, I actually reviewed a game called Moroi. That is basically an indie top-down dark fantasy adventure game with some puzzles here and there. It's definitely got that jank, as I mentioned in my review, but it has a very interesting kind of storyline and narrative that you kind of want to just go through it, just to persevere through the controls are fine, it's just that the hit detection for some weapons you use are a bit off at times, but you'll stick around because of how gory and how weird the game gets, because it's using Romanian folklore to tell its story. And when your amnesiac character starts off in the game, you are in this prison, and you kind of have to feed this robot machine in this other prison. I guess it was a piece of bone or something, or I think a piece of a pig or a dead arm, I forgot. It was something gory you feed inside the pig, and then you get the item from the robot, and then you give this item to this wizard, who gives you this item to give to the witch, and then you end up getting your sword to break out of the jail that you're in.
Okay.
It goes through different weird-ass places. It's on PC only for now.
Okay. Would you say it's it's of a more mature and darker narrative?
Oh, definitely. It's all about like this guy trying to recover his memory, and everyone all blaming him for the things he did, even though he has no idea what he's doing and all that. Yeah. So people can basically make the assumption that this character is probably a dark overlord of the world he created. But again, that's just that's just something I'll leave you, the viewers, to decide and play the game per se.
Okay. But you said it was top down, was it?
It's a top down view, so it's like like those games like Smash TV or Total Carnage back in the day.
Yeah.
It has the controls where you use the thumbstick or the mouse to aim. The example I guess would be Geometry Wars, or your right stick shooter kind of top down games. Yeah. It plays like that. So, and then it has some rock music playing while you're killing monsters. Yeah. Adds to the weirdness of the title.
Okay. It sounds like a medieval version of. Have you heard of Darkwood?
I think it is kind of like that. Romanian version of Darkwood.
Yeah, because Darkwood's very Polish in its DNA. But yeah, it sounds like top down. But I think Darkwood's obviously a lot more survival based. It sounds like. Would you say, is there any survival mechanics?
Oh no, they're not. You just basically just walk a straight line, solving the puzzles along the way, and also rescuing a duck from getting stuffed in the. When you rescue a duck, it gives you its teeth. Its teeth can be used to upgrade your weapons. It's fucking weird, I know. It's fucking weird, I know, but that's how it is. It's just relishing in its adventure obscurity kind of style. Definitely very Eastern European, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I look at that. I look at the game. You look at the Steam page already. It's like, oh, this is something I would put metal music in at times. And it's also kind of cheap too. So even if you're getting a janky game, the experience is pretty unique for those who like the suspense, horror, weird ass kind of feeling that you get from games like Fear and Hunger and the one I bought, Look Outside, and a couple of others, like a darker version. Okay, imagine you go to a European indie jam and they have all these games coming out. Moroi is kind of like that up class version of that indie jam result.
Right.
So the game is called Moroi, Moroi.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're interested, Lewis or whatnot, it's 39 RM. It's again, I should warn you that it's a bit janky
bad as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just warn you, it can be a bit janky at times here and there. I even had to restart some of my saves because I solved the puzzle, the door didn't open. I had to restart that. So hopefully that's fixed. I hope that's fixed in the game's proper 1.0 release right now. Yeah, but apart from that, it is a cute game. It is. I'm kind of. I guess I should also talk about the other fucking video game related thing I checked out. Have you heard of the Until Dawn series from PlayStation?
Yes, of course, yeah.
So I watched the adaptation movie for that. It is. I can tell you that the first 20 minutes was interesting, and then when it tried to explain a lot of things and a lot of the stuff from the video game started popping in without rhyme or reason, that's when the show kind of sucked.
Okay.
It's just not worth. I would recommend Moroi over this movie. That's for sure.
Right.
And that was an indie title. I mean, nobody asked for an Until Dawn movie. Honestly, you can just play the 2014 original game with all the original actors inside, like Rami Malek and Hayden Pattiner. I keep mispronouncing her name. She's the cheerleader from the TV show Heroes.
Yeah. I remember watching.
I Love You, Beth Cooper. She's the main character in the poster.
Oh, okay.
Some teen movie. That's pretty much that Until Dawn in a nutshell. It's a pretty lackluster to crappy kind of remake that nobody asked for. It changes up its plot for the sake of being different, which was interesting per se. I mean, I do like the practical effects of the movie.
Yeah.
So that's when people explode and when the monster comes in and the monsters start revealing themselves and whatnot, and the effects in the mansion they're stuck in. Those effects are great. So I can't say it's complete shit, but it's, again, if you want like a very inventive horror movie, that's just not the way to go. This is definitely a studio shield effort from PlayStation to maybe make a tax break. I don't know why. Maybe they tried to recoup their losses by releasing the film without much marketing to begin with.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you were getting at, like you said, it was shield. It sounds like you're getting at, it's like almost as if like they're just obligated to do it because there's like a predetermined agreement or something, right?
Yeah. I saw a bunch of trailers before the movie came out, all Sony sponsored, like 28 years later, and the one from the people who did talk to me, Let Her Live. I think it's an upcoming movie about an orphanage and it's starring Sally Hawkins, really cool actress, by the way.
Okay.
I'd rather watch those movies than Until Dawn, yo. I was like, can I watch these now instead? No? Okay.
Yeah, it's like they're just showing you, hey, this is what we're doing that's better, but here, just watch this shitty movie first, and then you can watch these other ones at a later date.
Yeah,
it's like, it's not the best type of advertisement.
I've already said my review here, but if you want to read it, I gave it a 4 out of 10. Go check that out. Again, it's an obligation because it's a video game movie. I mean, those are turning a dime a dozen, and they're making money too. I.e. the Minecraft movie that we talked about. Yes, so that's not all of them can be winners. So yeah. All right, we will talk about a bunch of news. Yes, let's go for that. Yes, because we got a pretty big one. Well, at least for me, anyway. So I'm gonna start first, and then Lewis, you can continue on. So Borderlands 4 is actually coming out earlier than anticipated. So it's being pushed back 2 weeks from its 23rd September release date. It is now coming out on 12th September, with Randy Pitchford saying that we've hit all our milestones, the game QA is doing great, we're just going to release it early pretty much. He said in his own words this has nothing to do with making space for the upcoming game Marathon, which is coming out on 23rd of September. I'm hearing a lot of bad things about the alpha that came out. A lot of people are not liking the alpha for Marathon. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Borderlands 4. There was actually a lot of information that came out. I'm going to pull it out from my side here. Alright, so they've actually introduced the 4 new characters you get to play. They showed gameplay for the first 2 and some description for the other 2. So you have Vexa Siren. She is, as I predicted correctly in a previous post last year, she is a pet class. But
Okay.
she can actually has two kinds of power-ups with her siren powers. She's a siren in the game. Every Borderlands game needs a controllable siren, right? So she can actually use the magic siren wings to empower herself, or she can summon spectral creatures. So she can summon a giant cat called Trouble, who was actually featured in the previous trailer on December. So it's a purple cat called Trouble. You get to boost its stats, and he can attack for you or buff you up. Or you can summon multiple specters that look like Vex, who actually have a scythe and have wings, attacking. It's like that spell from the Necromancer in Diablo 4. The one where it's the Reap spell, except it's her version of it. And she has a cat to boot, a magic cat to follow her around. So again, cool pet class, looks pretty interesting. I'm definitely gonna probably main her because I'm the kind of guy who needs an AI fall guy to follow me while I have my weapon and everything. And the other character they showed off is Rafa, the ex-soldier. So every other Borderlands game has an ex-soldier joining them. So you've got Roland was actually ex-Atlas. In Borderlands 3, Mose was ex-Vladoff. So Rafa is ex-Tediore. It's actually the company that makes the disposable guns. When you reload the gun, you throw the gun, it becomes a grenade. That's the manufacturer. So he gets a special suit that actually keeps him alive and gives him powers to digistruct weapons out of his body. So he's got the weapons, the blades, and whatnot. And he cannot actually take out the suit because he has this microgravity condition where he cannot live outside of specific spaces. So the suit makes him actually get out there and do human-like things. So he's a mercenary, ex-Tediore. He has we don't know how long his suit will last, so he can do a lot of digistruct stuff going on. So that was a bit of a demo of him summoning shit out in the middle of the air, which is pretty cool. The other two characters is Harlow. She is a Maliwan combat scientist, another ex-soldier basically. The interesting thing about her is basically she is related to the bad guys in Borderlands 3. You played Borderlands 3, right? Have you fought?
Yeah, briefly, yeah.
You fought a bunch of bosses called Tron.
Yes.
This character is related to those guys.
Okay.
But obviously she's a good character, not evil.
Right, yeah.
So I guess she'll have, because there was actually a bit of tie-in and all that. Because in Borderlands 3, in a sense, Zane, the guy who has the duplicates, he's actually part of the family member of the Flint family, and you've actually fought bosses called X-Flint or Y-Flint in Borderlands 1 and 2. So so they're trying to keep up with the theme of a person who has ties with previous villains in the game.
Yeah.
So I guess Harlow's one of them.
Okay.
And Amon is this big guy you see in the trailer. He's a Forged Knight. We don't know what he does, but he's actually part of a cult that actually worship the vaults. And then when, the monster from the vault came out and killed his entire clan, he basically is a survivor who actually out for revenge in that sense.
Okay.
So a lot of gameplay right there. And it was basically 20 minutes in the PlayStation State of Play. They showcased a lot of really awesome gameplay. Like double jumping, mantling, air dashing.
Yeah.
Let's see, there's some new bits I'm going to list out from the bullet points here. You've got licensed parts system that combines the behaviors and abilities from multiple manufacturers into a single weapon. So let's just say a unique weapon, it may combine, it may not just be from one manufacturer. It will have some parts here and there from either Maliwan or Tediore or from Jacobs or from different companies here and there. They even introduced 3 new companies. Ripper, which focuses on fully automatic weapons. So basically, the longer you hold the weapon button, more bullets come out per se, like a chain gun or a minigun. And you've got the Order manufacturer, who basically have charge and release guns, and you got Daedalus, who have multiple ammo types coming out from the weapons. So I guess you Outfire, we have a rocket launcher. Oh, and speaking of rocket launchers, all ordinances are combined into one resource, which comes with a cooldown timer. So grenades are not counted anymore. Rocket launchers are not counted anymore. They're under this meter called ordnance. So you can actually spam as many grenades and rockets as you want. But once you're spent, there'll be a cooldown timer. And after that cooldown timer is refilled, you get to reuse it again. So that's a pretty good change because you always want to save your rockets from your best weapons because they run out of ammo pretty quick and they're very expensive when you get to the high mayhem levels and the higher difficulty levels. So to have this as like a cooldown kind of thing is actually kind of cool. I kind of like that change. Rep Kit Gears add utility by letting players heal themselves or activate temporary buffs to help turn the tide of an intense battle. So, to solve the stim pack and the health problems, I mean, you can still get to second win, but you can now use health items before combat to get buffs lah.
Okay, yeah,
So that could be pretty unique. Yeah. That could be maybe there could be a buff that actually increases your loot chance. That could be it. You know?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Also, a lot of people have spotted that the map, the gameplay itself, there's actually a compass. There's no actual mini map in the game, so I'm a bit worried that they might take that feature out, or at least maybe I hope they added it in the final game. You know, because mini maps are important for looter shooters with open worlds.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is also a bit weird because Borderlands 1 had the compass. People didn't like it. They added the mini map in Borderlands, the enhanced edition, after so many complaints. So to have them remove mini maps, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it sounds a bit redundant, especially after hearing that backlash. And even after playing like Borderlands 3, I couldn't imagine just having to rely on a compass and no mini map.
Yeah. Anyway, did you check out the new trailer of the gameplay? Like, what do you think?
No, I haven't had the chance to see this one, at least from the state of play. But from the initial that I watched when it was released ages ago now, that's what it made me kind of like, it looked cool, so I was like, okay, why not get into Borderlands 3, right? Like, since I bought it on sale and whatnot, and I've been having a blast. I haven't been able to hardcore play it because obviously, you know, I have a job and everything, but I think from time to time me and my friends get together and play it about once a week, I'd say. So we're making progress and whatnot, and I understand the appeal, definitely. I think I'm maining Moe's at the moment. It's just I think just in anticipation of all this of Borderlands 4, I've just been getting into Borderlands 3 and whatnot.
Nice. And they've actually made improvements to the co-op, so it's easy for people to join. You get to set the levels to your own level, so your other guys can play it on hard, you can play it on easy. It's really up to you. They scale the difficulty according to your experience.
Okay.
And I guess that's about it. There's actually a lot of changes here and there, a lot of nice gameplay that we get to see. Returning characters include Zane, Matt Moxie, and Amara. So in that one mission where you play as both Vex and Rafa, you get to... You basically have to look for Amara and basically help her out with searching for Lilith, who may or may not be alive in the game.
Okay.
And all that. So you're in a snowy planet and you get to check out what's going on here and there.
Okay.
So really cool, those characters. I do like they actually changed the designs a bit. So Vex, Rafa, a couple of others, Amon and Harlow, they all look really, really cool. Yeah. Like a huge change from the trailer they showed on December. Like they got a bit more drip, and obviously you can customize the characters how they look, so that's also pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, definitely looking forward to Borderlands 4 coming out on the 12th of September. Pretty early. Yeah. Which is good. Shows a lot of confidence from the companies making them. Yeah. Let's see. You got any news for me, Lewis?
Yeah. Next up, I guess we'll just talk about some more unfortunate layoffs within the gaming industry, and that is EA giving the chop to Respawn and cutting about 400 jobs, as well as discontinuing a Titanfall spin-off.
Ooh man, just when they thought they couldn't find any more Titanfall games to cancel, EA found another one. And, hey, you know what? This is still like it was a very, very early work in progress. Let's make everybody hate us more. Cancel that title. Jesus.
Yeah. So this news comes from a Bloomberg report, originally from the renowned Jason Schreier, and essentially the way I describe it in my article is it's a hefty human culling of employees. It's roughly about 100 employees at Respawn that have been shown the door, unfortunately, and another 200 to 300 from Electronic Arts overall.
To make it to 400, right?
To make it to 400. EA claims that this is due to kind of realigning teams to serve better strategic priorities. It's to me, this is just corporate
isn't a
jargon.
good strategic priority to release the game that everyone has been clamoring since day
Right.
one?
You know,
Like, why the fuck would you can't like people are actually itching for a new Titanfall? Why
Yeah.
would you do that?
it's one of the like besides.
Does
obviously,
EA hate robots? Does
Yeah,
EA not
exactly.
like to have a kinetic shooter where you parkour up to the wall to sit into your giant robot and kill other robots and mechas and other pilots?
Yeah.
Does that idea not sound that writes money? I mean, I know the last two Titanfall games have. I mean, the first one did all right, and then the second one was actually sabotaged by EA because they released another Battlefield next to it. That was bullshit.
Yeah,
So-
they're just competing with themselves at this point,
Yeah,
right?
it's so
just
stupid.
like
Yeah.
yeah. But alongside that as well, they also binned a mysterious Star Wars game that was in development, or we're not too sure how far in development it was, but it was headed by Medal of Honor's Peter Hirschman. But yeah, that's apparently been binned as well. So
Right.
yeah, just another Star Wars game. Not too sure if it was meant to be a mainline one. I doubt it was, but essentially, from what we know, that they are mainly trying to focus more on Apex Legends and then also the Last Jedi series as well. So, because obviously those have been really their biggest money makers at the moment. So. You know, I guess with Split Fiction as well, but that's more on the publishing side, less on their own development side of things. But yeah, that's unfortunate. It's just been happening more and more lately.
Well, to be fair, I don't think the past games that EA have. I mean, we wouldn't be in this situation if EA actually did make their previous sports games better. Don't you think? I mean, I don't know. I don't think the FIFA games, or rather the football club games, have done really well for the past few years, have they?
No, not really. I think people have started to pivot a little bit more away. A lot of people heading over to to Konami's eFootball. You know, personally for me, it's I'm a lot less inclined to buy FIFA nowadays, especially because it's just gotten so much more expensive as well online.
Yeah.
Just to buy these games as well. So it's a hit and miss really, because obviously that's from their sports division. and there's no real, at least from the reports, there hasn't been any really disclosure on like how many have been cut from the EA Sports department exactly. But I wouldn't be surprised if that plays into a factor of like EAFC not doing as well as they have done over the past couple of years, especially since they dissociated from FIFA. I wouldn't be surprised if that plays into a factor of them letting go a bunch of people from the sports department as well.
All right. I will trade you another piece of news. We may be getting an Overwatch 3, or rather, it's a NetEase made Overwatch that could be a port. So, according to reports from Korean website MTN, not NetEase, sorry, Nexon will be making a new StarCraft game and a mobile version of Overwatch. So this mobile version of Overwatch is built as Overwatch 3 behind closed doors, serving as a bridge between Overwatch 2 and this new game. So you can still play it on PC, but I think they're going to retrofit and tailor it as a mobile game. Free to play, since Overwatch 2 is already free to play, so I guess this will be the next step in making it more accessible for people and trying to unify everything per se. Let's see. According to a quote from the article, Blizzard has been bidding since the fourth quarter of the last year for major Korean game companies, offering content development rights using the StarCraft IP and the Korean and Japanese service rights for Overwatch Mobile as a package deal. So we are getting a new StarCraft game. Whether it's going to be a strategy game or a first-person shooter title like Ghost, like the cancelled Ghost, that remains to be seen. So I'm not sure if I don't recall any of Nexon's first-person shooter games. Are they the ones who did the Call of Duty Mobile, or is it another?
No, Call of Duty Mobile is Timmy Studios, so they're the people behind like Honor of Kings and whatnot. They honestly did really well. Do
you remember what Nexon has done in terms of first-person shooters? NetEase did Marvel Rivals, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nexon did. Do you remember? Because I don't.
I believe Nexon played a part in. They played parts in Sudden Attack, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, that's close enough. So I'm gonna guess that this StarCraft might be an action RPG or a shooter, because no way in hell you can make a strategy game work on your tablet or whatnot. I mean, you can, but whether it's gonna be that or it's gonna use the husk of StarCraft to make a shooter or make a free-to-play game, That's anybody's guess. But
Yeah.
I'm very sure it will make probably a bit more money than a real-time strategy title, because those are
Definitely.
niche games.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess, despite the reputation that mobile gaming has amongst the gaming community, I feel like this could possibly be a really smart decision. Call of Duty Mobile has done a lot for Activision, at least monetarily. Even though it gets, as somebody who competed in Call of Duty Mobile and is an avid, fan of the original Call of Duties as well on console and PC, it's as drastically different and how janky COD Mobile seems and looks. It earns so much money. It earns so much money for Activision. So I'm assuming they're taking a page out of this and out of Call of Duty Mobile and just bring it in, applying Overwatch to it, which I don't think is a bad idea either, to be honest, because, if you lower down the graphics, I feel like Overwatch could do really, really well on mobile. Not only could it run really well, but to me, it would be a great on-the-go FPS game, to be honest, because it's very arcade-like, especially with the new Stadium mode, for example, as well. It makes it feel like a lot more... It's its own game, and I feel like that's something that like Apex Legends and PUBG they're battle royales, for example, so they're a lot longer of a game. And in terms of like a arena shooter, 4v4, 5v5 mobile FPS games, there's not many. There was Critical Ops, which was meant to be kind of like CS:GO, and then obviously Call of Duty Mobile. But I feel like a possible Overwatch mobile port, or a mobile version of it, could do Activision Blizzard pretty well, because there's always there's that meme about how Activision Blizzard is just they're money hungry, right? This would be the best thing that could not only please fans, but also please their appetite as well, because you look at how big the mobile gaming market here is here in Malaysia, or just Southeast Asia in general, actually. It's an untapped market that they just haven't quite gotten into yet, and it's to me it's a smart decision, which is a big thing to say about Activision Blizzard lately. But yeah,
it would be I mean, again, mobile games, they're doing really well in China, from China especially, because I'm the guy who plays Genshin Impact and so forth, and Honkai Star Rail and your ZZZ. So to have them port these games on mobile, and maybe as a way to get in some extra income to make Blizzard stick around longer, to keep PC games like Diablo 4 and Overwatch alive, I guess I'm all for it. I mean, this is where the market's going, so to have Overwatch on mobile would make sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. A couple of news before we end the segment. We have Xbox raising their prices for their consoles and games. So their games might actually head upwards to $80 in the near future, which is insane. But given the current, political and business climate, I think that's what they're gearing up for. They are also raising up their prices for the Xbox Series, the console. So your Series X, the big one, the one with the disk drive and everything, it's gonna be $100 extra. So it used to be $499, it's gonna be $599 US, so $600 USD with tax. Even the peripherals got a bit of a price hike. I guess your wireless controllers, the limited edition, gets like an extra 10 USD. So from $79.99 to $89.99. And that's not gonna be a good sell, considering that your Xbox aren't really known for games or exclusive games anymore, considering that a lot of Xbox exclusives are making their way towards PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm not even that. Like, you just play them on PC as well nowadays. With the PC master race growing over the past decade and everything, and with Xbox Game Pass as well, it's like, what's the point?
Yes.
Right.
This is really bad for them, I'm saying.
It just doesn't really make sense.
No, it does not. So if they just try to keep the things the way they are, sure, people won't buy them so much, but at least I'll be a bit more curious about buying an Xbox. Now, this price rising thing happening, unfortunately, I don't think anybody's going to have another incentive to buy one of these anymore.
Makes sense as well. It's like the Xbox consoles now they're not new.
Yeah.
Right? Like if they'd been out for like a year and they realized, okay, they're not making as much money as they should have been, we're gonna up the prices. I can see that point of view, right? But we're at the point now where it's like it's within the next few years, it will be time for like Xbox to start like, well, at least teasing the fact that they might be coming out with a new console. So what's the point of upping the prices? Usually whenever a new console comes out, the prices kind of drop a bit, no?
Yeah. You kind of want to eat up the cost of your price hikes and reduce the price. Now, Nintendo and PlayStation can get away with a price hike because they have been very... I guess they've been eating Xbox's lunch for forever since the PlayStation 4 days. It's insane. So you think that Xbox has a win, but they did not. It's like they're not surviving this. Honestly, it's insane. And also, I mean, the fact that the Nintendo consoles are getting a price hike is also a bit painful. Yeah. But they are doing it because they can get away with it.
Yeah.
They will gouge your prices because they can get away with it. Xbox just cannot, especially when you don't have any exclusives anymore, yo. It's not the best decision to make.
Yeah, like Halo is the only thing I could possibly think of right now. But even then, Halo Infinite has been doing god awful lately.
It's been mid, right?
Yeah, it's just been mid, like both competitively and just from a casual player experience. It's just gotten boring, and I just think there's time for something. It's time for something new. Yeah.
And I guess you got another one?
Yeah, I got another one as well. I guess on a little bit of on a brighter note, funnier note even, let's talk about how being addicted to Mobile Legends could possibly get you sent to a boot camp in Indonesia.
Yeah, okay, how does that go? I mean, what's the big details?
So basically there was a conference held in Indonesia by Governor I apologize if I'm butchering this name, but Deddy Mulyadi, and essentially he's the governor of West Java, and essentially he's planning on implementing some new rules to help out with like problematic students, whether it be students who are like to go out partying when they shouldn't be, they're too underage or whatnot, or go out, don't like skip school and just go out fighting other kids and whatnot, or kids who are just addicted to Mobile Legends and are up until like 5 a.m. And I wouldn't necessarily put that in the same category, but he did. In my article, I am a little bit more antagonistic, and I kind of poke fun at the whole idea a lot more. But at the end of the day, I understand what he's trying to do. Like, it's not being addicted to video games isn't a good thing, especially if you're a student. I can't, as somebody who was one of those, I can't endorse that, despite how hypocritical that is of me. I don't think it entitles getting sent to a boot camp, because what this essentially means, right, is they will be sent to a 3-month boot camp for military-style boot camp, where they will pretty much be disciplined, per se. So, I don't put them in the same category as actual delinquents and troublemakers. These aren't necessarily menaces to society. They're just kind of menaces to their own health and well-being, really. I don't put them in the same thing. It's like, why are you here? I beat up my parents, or I started a fight at school or whatever. And then it's like, okay, what are you here for? I was trying to grind to a mythical glory on Mobile Legends at like 5 a.m. in the morning. It's like,
it's like that Chris Rock joke where you go into jail because you're driving too slow. I'm in the jail cell full of thugs, rapists, killers, and my only crime is I'm driving too slow on the fast highway.
It's like, man, there's no winning with it. But like I do get the intention. Video game addiction is a problem, and it does need to be mediated somehow. And it is nice to see that the government is taking, they're showing parents who are concerned about this, hey, we want to try and help. I just don't know if this is the right way to go about it. It was a bit like, it was a bit. The way that the governor kind of said it, he said it with a chuckle. I'm not too sure if it was like, kind of him. I don't think it was of a place of he knew how ridiculous this sounded. It's just more like, oh, it's just funny. Like, it's just, people shouldn't be addicted to games like this. And I'm just like, well, it is what it is, man. Games are fun.
That's the parents, yo.
Yeah, exactly.
Parents,
At the end of the day, it shouldn't actually be the government's job. It's your parents' job, to discipline you and teach give you the leeway to play games, when to play games and whatnot. That's what happened with me. And although I did break the rules a lot of the time, I did stick to it for the most part. And it's really up to the parents, really. But obviously, some kids just might not understand. Some kids are going to be too rebellious. I just maybe if you create a separate boot camp for them that doesn't include them, lump them in with actual kids with problems, then maybe I could see the logic behind it. Not sure if I could get behind it, but yeah, I just thought it'd be funny to bring this up. That's all.
And I've got one last piece of news. I guess we cap it off right then. So, top Platinum Games designer Takahisa Taura has quit the studio. Declared that he quit the studio, Platinum Games, and is starting his new game company called Eel Studio. Eel Game Studio. Yeah. So Takahisa Taura was responsible for directing a really awesome Nintendo Switch game called Astral Chain, which is what happens when you're a police cop who has stand-like monsters helping you out. And he was also one of the main designers for Nier Automata, alongside Moonface Man Yoko Taro. Yes, he worked alongside Yoko Taro heavily. So to have a top-tier guy from Platinum Games leaving the company, it's kind of dire news for Platinum Games, considering that Platinum Games has lost a lot of its guys, like Hideki Kamiya and a lot of its top-tier guys. And the crazy thing is, Platinum Games are working together with Tecmo Koei to make the new Ninja Gaiden 4 game coming out this year. So I don't know what's happening there. Maybe they have some B-lister guys helping out the game's combat, like how Platinum Games have been the support studio for Final Fantasy 16 and other titles. But and then again, I mean, Ninja Gaiden 4 also has the Team Ninja to help create the game per se, because these are the same people who made Neo 2 and what was that game? The one Rise of the Ronin. They did that too.
Oh yeah, Rise of the Ronin. Yeah.
So it's not like they completely need Platinum Games help, but they do need like a support studio lah.
Yeah.
So it's a bit worrying per se, but I'm sure Ninja Gaiden 4 will hit its release date, which is I guess fall 2025.
Yeah. I mean, Platinum Games has this prestige to it, right? Like
a long time ago they did, yes, a long time ago.
Yeah, and I think it's just a wake up call. Like news like this is kind of just a wake up call. It's like, hey, we are pretty much at the end of this era, or if not past the end of this era of Platinum Games being one of those studios that you look up to and like you'd be like, every game they push out is a banger, right? Especially with like the leaving of
they don't sell well, but they are bangers.
Yeah, right. Like they have the games that I for me like kind of a bit of a normie as well. When I look at their the Platinum Games fan bases, fan bases, I see a cult following, and I can't help but respect that because like, hey, like a game has to be a certain way to develop that type of following, right? With as they've lost personnel over the past, like God knows how many years now, like with Hideki Kamiya, and then now Toru Takahisa now leaving as well. It's unfortunate. It's the end of an era, and it's just like, okay, they're gonna go off and do their own things now, and it's like, it's like a graduation. You get to see unfortunately, your favorite teams are breaking up.